thanks for coming to you all to this bonus activity. I think it was a great conference, great 2 days and 2 short days for how many people is here to talk with everyone. But yeah, this is the last activity of this 2 days workshop. Yeah. Okay, so it's gonna be today about Adbian. Some of you probably heard of it before, so this presentation not gonna be new for everyone, but I still hope you can get some useful information. And for the content, I'm gonna tell you what is Adbian, what is 4 levels, how you can use it in your practice, and also what's the benefits for the arborists and for your arborist company, for example. Where should I stand? Okay, this is the best. So to understand what is Adbian, I will first show you where we coming from basically, what other ways to assess biomechanics we have today. Some of you probably know this, which is WLA method. Some of you probably know tree calc, which is based on SII method, and both of these methods work as some kind of online calculator. You put in the data, you model the tree, and you calculate its stability. Very basic, but somewhat useful for the individual trees. And all the calculation of the biomechanics are based on on triangle of stability. You probably know a lot about it, and why we started Adbian is because we are certain we can calculate better the real geometry of a tree in the calculation of biomechanics. So this is the main motivation. And Adbian stands for Advanced Biomechanical Analysis, and it works on a principle that we model the tree in 3D space based on the inputs. And then we test the wind load, how the center of gravity changes, and how it's affecting the stem of a tree, basically. And we are calculating it from 16 directions with each calculation. There are 4 levels of Adbian, 1, 2, 3, 4, or we sometimes call them with the names which we are connected with. So it's dendrology, dendrology plus, stem scan, and device testing. When we start with the basics with Adbian 1, we just work with the basics dendrology data, such as coordinates, tree species, DBH, tree height, stem height, and crown dimensions. And we are able to model very simple 3D model, and we give it the shape of the crown based on its taxonomy. So it's very simple. The profile of the stem is a circle, and there is not really improvement in geometry compared to these other instruments or other tools on the market. But where is a big improvement is in scalability, because the level 1 is made to assess the big number of trees, like for example whole city. So you just calculate like thousands of trees at once, and you can select the individuals that need to take a closer look on. When we wanted to increase the accuracy of the measurement and of the geometry, we had to develop our own mobile app, which we will show you in a second part. And basically you can collect the data more precisely on any smartphone you have. It works on a principle, that we are able, because we know the precise measurement of your lens and the distance you're taking the picture from, and we can reconstruct in 3D space the model based on the diameters on every height on a stem. So basically the inputs for us at the level 2 is 3 species, coordinates, and 2 photos of the whole tree, and 3 photos of the stem from different directions. It's ideally 90 degrees, but you probably know it's not easy to get whole pictures of a tree exactly from 90 degrees. So this is the ideal, but basically we always work with whatever the data you are able to obtain in the field. So in this level,
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, sure.
Photos, you need a reference for sizing, like a measure stick or something?
No, basically we only work with your camera and with the distance. Yeah, so with each photo you give us the distance and then we recalculate the sizes. So in this level there is increase in geometry compared to other methods, and output is 3D model also with crown eccentricity, and the stem profiles are not anymore circles but it's some kind of ellipsoid, and we calculated the stability for every 10 centimeters of the stem. So we take the weakest point as the one, we take the weakest point of the calculation to report to you, so to calculate if the tree is stable or not. And what's interesting about level 2 is that we are able from the photography based on beam model find out if the tree is tilting when we do repetitive collection of the data. So basically, if you collect the data every 6 months of the same tree, send them to us, we can say if there is difference if the tilt of a tree, so if the tree is uprooting, because it usually doesn't uproot in one day. It takes several years and changing the incline, and then it uproots. Which is basically only way to find out when you don't have ability to do pulling tests, or if the pulling test doesn't make sense in that case. So when we want to do even better accuracy, we need to scan the tree, but thanks to Apple, we don't need precise 3D scanners because they are putting now the sensors in every iPhone and iPad Pro, and so you can do everything with the device in your pocket. We will show you in a minute, and the inputs are basically the same as level 2, but you also uploaded the 3D scan of a tree. The 3D scan of a tree can look like this. I'm not sure if the video is going to run. Yeah, great. And as you can see, you can get very good precision of the geometry of the stem. I would say the maximum precision with these technologies. In this case, in level 3, I would say it's maximal precision of geometry in Adbian, and the model can look like this. And it's very interesting when the tree has some irregularities on the stem or open cavities and stuff like that. So this is basically the only way to quantify the open cavities, for example, on a tree. And again, we are calculating it for every 10 centimeters cut. And get the one which is where is the weakened point as the most probable to break for the tree. And level 4 of Adbian is combining these precise geometry with instrument test, in this case with tomograph. We work mainly in picos, but we are able to report fuck-up as well. And basically the inputs are the same as level 3, but with tomogram and the height where you took the tomogram. And this is very important because, as you probably know, the tree for its stability doesn't need it inside. Most of the old and big trees are hollow inside, but you need to get precisely the outside structure. For example, tomograph can tell you what is inside. It's not very visible, but the green line here, it's tomogram, and the red line is when we put it together with the 3D scan. So now you can see there is much more healthy wood that would otherwise be just with tomography, and with this you can save healthy trees or the trees that are healthy but doesn't look very good with tomography. Sorry, the clicker doesn't work very well. Okay, so these are 4 levels. Basic level Adbian dendrology for big number of trees for initial data collection. Second level is for tilt measurement, and you use a mobile app to collect the data. Third level is with scan, and fourth level is with tomography. This is the graphics for the levels. On our webpage you can find the detailed comparison for each level and when to use them and what to expect out of the report. But how does it work in practice? So basically you can use Adbian to calculate 3 basic things. First one is the safety coefficients, which tells you if the tree is stable or not. And we also calculate for each tree how the stability changes if we reduce the crown by 1, 2, and 3 meters. And in the future we want to calculate also where to reduce the crown so it maximizes the effects of the cut. Second use case is finding out if tree is uprooting or not. And the third case is device test inaccuracies with combining it with 3D scans. How does it work in practice? With the level 1, it's only about exporting the large amount of data and sending them to us over to our database. We calculate it for you and you receive the report in approximately 1 hour. It's all automatic, so there shouldn't be a problem. So with level 2, you collect the data with our mobile app. It's called Tree Scanner. It takes you approximately 3 to 4 minutes, and you just send the data over again to our server, and a human have to look at the data and said if it's correct, and you receive the report in up to 2 work days. And basically how it works, so this is already inside the mobile app. So you just select the tree you want to measure. You fill in the details such as project name, site name, species, and you just start taking the pictures. With level 3, it takes approximately 5 minutes to collect the data, and you just add the 3D scan, which I will show you in a minute as well. Finally, no. 3D scanning can look like this. With collection for level 4, it's basically the same as level 3, and you only connect the tomogram and send it over to us, and so it's the same as level 3, just 5 minutes of collection and sending the data. So what are the benefits for you? Basically, it helps you to assess biomechanics better than the rest of the industry or rest of the tools. You get also 3D representation of your tree, each tree of the calculation. It means for the company a higher revenue or profit per tree, and it can increase the frequency of the collection of the data, because today the trees are checked approximately every 3 to 5 years, and with the level 2 and collecting of the data of the tilt, you can check the tree basically every 6 months to make sure they are not uprooting. It also fills the gap on the market between empirical evaluation and device tests, where there is like huge difference in pricing. I talk with many of you about prices of, for example, pulling tests, and it can vary from 800 euros, and some even told me 2,000 euros per tests. So it's like huge difference between this and empirical evaluation, and basically nothing in between. So this is for the presentation. I would also say that we are preparing, because it's kind of a big leap for some arborists to use this technology, and we are preparing the manuals. We got it in English, so everything from adding new tree, taking photographies. You also have to calibrate the device once you download the app. It's for us to get the precise shape of your lens, how the pictures are deformed, so we can calculate precisely the tree measurements from the picture. So this is one-time thing. Once you download the app, you just print out this chessboard, you measure the distance, and you're taking the pictures of the chessboard from different angles, send it to us, and then you can use the app. So this is a little bit hurdle before using the app. We also are preparing video manuals. Now we have only calibration in English. It should be like quick, up to one minute videos, which show you how to operate. So you don't need us to show you like each steps. You have to show us from which direction you are taking the picture. So now I can see I'm between the tree and between the circle in the middle on the map. So I can just connect these two with the line, add this direction, and then just take a picture of the stem. It should turn, as you saw it, there is a red line, and it should turn blue to tell you your phone is not tilted. So you wait until it turns blue, or you press it and wiggle it with it a bit, and then just measure the distance for each picture. Yeah, it's 3.46, and you save it. Yeah, then you just go from the different angle. You just say from which side you are taking the picture and do the same thing 3 times. For the whole tree is the same, but we sometimes use the digital height meter, because when it's sunlight like this, it's not easy to find the red dot sometimes, so it can be more convenient, but it's the same principle, just 5 pictures, and it's basically enough for the level 2. When you want to add level 3, you just add stem scan from the app before, upload it, and you want to do tomogram, you can just fill in, you took it in 50 centimeters, and then once you do it, you connect it on a web application, because data from here you are sending to your web application account, where you can select what to do with the reports. So you select, I want these 3 level 3s basically, and in the future you can add some other reports such as ecological benefits and like other analysis. Yeah.